before we start the video, just want to give you a big heads up. If you haven't read the novel It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, this video will contain some spoilers. There will be there won't be spoilers all the time, but be wary if you want to read the book and you haven't already and you don't want to know any spoilers. Some of it is quite general and not really specific, but some moments are, so be aware. Also, I just wanted to mention the trigger warnings, which I will mention again before I actually read any reviews or state my opinion, but I just want to say that this is probably going to be one of those videos where there are lots of sensitive topics talked about quite generally, so I'm very sorry if you can't watch this video, and for anyone who can watch this video, please enjoy. But anyway, just a heads up for spoiler and trigger warning. Hi guys, it's Arlo. I'm back here with another Adventures of Arlo YouTube video. It has been a hot minute since my last video, and my last video was at Christmas, or round about after Christmas, when I showed you my Christmas haul. That was a really fun video, and this one is hopefully going to be a much shorter video than my usual videos, because it is only one topic. But I did want to say that I still have a lot of video content. My hair's being a mess right now, but I do have a lot of video content coming up soon. I said this in the last video, but I've got 2 videos lined up that just need to be edited and compiled. I'll post them. One is a vlog of a day in the life of me, and another one is Musical Con from 2022. I'm very happy to be going to Musical Con 2023, so I will also be doing videos on that as well coming up for you. So basically, just wanted to say hi. This is the casual introduction I like to do. I'm not at my house, but I'm at my nan's house, and I have a very exciting thing for you today. I'm going to be reviewing It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I'll go into more detail about it in the actual video, but this is a book by Colleen Hoover, which is probably like a famous author at the moment, a bit of a controversial author, which is why I really wanted to do this review more than any other book review I really have to review, because all of them are great. But I wanted to do this one because I feel like a lot of people do have different views about this book. Also, just before we get into it, there are a few trigger warnings I need to mention before getting into the video. This won't contain, it will contain some spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil it, if that makes any sense. It might contain spoilers, but I'm not intentionally containing spoilers. Maybe I'll do a thing when I'm about to mention a spoiler, then I'll say you can skip the video. But yeah, trigger warnings of sexual assault and rape, and that's the same thing. Not the same thing, but like you know, and self-harm. So if you don't like those things, or you want to stay away from those topics, don't watch this video. It's fine. This video is probably not for you, but I just wanted to talk about it to anyone who is listening in the book community, bookworm community. So yeah, without further ado, before boring you out of your mind with this intro, can't speak. Happy Valentine's. This is where I am filming. It's Valentine's. Hopefully it gets released on Valentine's Day. It would be a nice Valentine's Day surprise. Also, happy Galentine's Day, or happy Tuesday for anyone who does not celebrate Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day, which is completely fine because I think the day is a bit overrated. But anyway, let's, without further ado, get into this video. Make sure that you like, comment if you want to about this video, subscribe as always, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another wacky video by me. And yes, I did use the word wacky, and you can thank my friend for that one. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So I think I'm going to break this review up because I haven't actually filmed a review, but I can give you basically what I'll do is I'll just hold the book here while I talk about it. So this book is called It Ends With Us. It's by Colleen Hoover, which I have said before. This book has been TikTok sensation thing. Like it's been like suggested Like, it's like one of the book talk books. I haven't actually read a lot of reviews about this book before doing this, but all of the reviews I have seen on this book have been rather negative. A few positive, but on the whole, I think that I understand why people do not like this book. I feel like I understand why people say actually it's not what it was hyped up to be, and I understand it. And before we get into any of my opinions, I'm going to tell you the blurb. I'm going to read you the blurb, which is the thing on the back. It tells you what it's about. I will also give yourselves a summary about it. But yeah, this book was released, is that the right word? It's published, I don't know when, I think 2021. Does it even say? Do you even know? Oh. Maybe, I don't know when you find out, but it says 2016. So actually, it probably only got, you know, I think this is something that Google needs to help me with, but I'm pretty sure that this book came out in 2016, according to the book. I need to find out when it actually got released, because I'm sure it only just got popular. So it was published on the 2nd of August 2016 by Colleen Hoover. It's a romance novel, by the way. Yeah, I didn't know that. You know, we learn things every day, guys. On this channel we learn. Yes, so this book, very good book, though I must say something. Obviously there are trigger warnings, which I've spoken about in the intro, but also, if you're a child, I mean, I'm a child, but like, I'm not that much, I'm like, mature. I would not recommend this to anyone under the age of maybe 15 or 14, depending on your mental age. I know that probably the rating is much higher than 15, but I would say that a lot of 15-year-olds have been exposed to the world, so, and the main character starting off, you understand, is kind of 15. So I say that we don't want to traumatize our children, but this book isn't really appropriate for children. It's more of a young adult fiction book. So I'll read you the back and then I'll give you a summary, because I feel like I'm waffling on about it too much. So you'll get to see the book and not my face while reading this. So enjoy the view. So this is like the little bit at the top. Sometimes the one who loves you is the one who hurts you the most. Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that never stopped her from working hard for her life she wants. She comes from a long way from a small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, and maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily. But Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do the thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and a link to the past she left behind. He has her kindred spirit, her protector. He was, not he has. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. With this bold and deeply personal novel, Colleen Hoover delivers a heart-wrenching story that breaks exciting new ground for her as a writer, intervals in an unforgettable tale of love that comes at the ultimate price. And then you got a little review. It ends with us as a brave and heartbreaking novel that digs its claws into you and doesn't let go. No one delivers an emotional read like Colleen Hoover, says Anne Todd, who is a person who wrote After. And then you'll be smiling through your tears, says Sarah Pekkanen, which is the author of Perfect Neighbours. That was really good. I'm amazing at reading. Can we just say though the story, you might not like the story, and we're always told to not judge a book by its cover, but I'm thinking, I love this cover. I just love it. I love the colour and I love the cover. I like the font. I like everything about this cover. And it literally has reference to the book as a whole, but also it kind of doesn't. I like how this has a reference to the book, but it doesn't at the same time. Also, if you're wondering, there is a sequel to this called It Starts With Us. I think it's only available in hardback. I'm not sure. I have it in hardback and I'm reading it currently. And I thought it was like a sequel prequel, like it was a prequel, like it was about her life with Atlas at the start, but it turns out it's just a sequel. It just carries on the story, which I think is really ultimately better for my mental health. Just saying, I say that this book is very heart-wrenching, as said the review and the book itself. I'm not sure. She says it's personal in her author's note. It is like very personal to her. Some of the things, the content in this book is very personal to her, and I think a lot of people didn't like the fact that Colleen Hoover wrote about such personal things like this. I don't know. I think it's fine. I think that a lot of people are reading into it the wrong way. I feel like the point of this book is not to suggest or romanticize, for that matter, an abusive relationship, which is something that the content of this book is mainly about, I'd say. I don't think that's the point, and I think that the people who read this, and they shouldn't be younger than a certain age, but the people who read this and think that, oh yeah, I want to be in a romantic relationship with someone who abused me, because I don't think that's the point at all. I think actually in this book, now reading it, there's a lot of things about it that if you actually read it, you'll see that she's saying that she loves this person, but abuse. That's basically what I'm saying. This is not a light-hearted book by any means at all. And it covers some sensitive subjects, so that we all need to be aware of these sensitive subjects before reading the book. Now, actually, I mean, it doesn't have any, poor warning, you read the book. If you read the back, you might know more about it, but it actually doesn't say anything about mentioning abuse until it actually mentions it. So, I mean, I don't know if it does, but, you would have to, know that the book is about abuse, before reading it, which I don't know, because it looks like a harmless book. Like, the cover looks all pretty in pink, so you wouldn't expect such a, I guess, traumatizing story. I would say that I enjoyed this, and not because there was a relation, there was violence and harm and hate and stuff like that. It was because it was a good story. That brings us to the writing. I think Colleen Hoover has a recognisable writing style. Not to say that's bad, because I like her writing style personally, and I liked the book, and I was captivated by the book. Reading it at all points, I was interested in the book. I never thought to myself, this is boring. And actually, as the book went on, I felt more attached to the characters. I don't know if that's a good thing, because it is one of those things where all the subjects are king. So as one of the reviews said, you'll be smiling through your tears. I was smiling through my tears, because it's that kind of book. It's an evocative book, and I think a lot of people who hated this book said things about it because they thought maybe it was going to be a nice book. Well, I don't really know much more about other people's opinions, other than every review I was seeing of it was that it was a bad book, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I can kind of see why people don't like this book. I think the subjects in it are controversial, and if you don't And I think some people don't like Colleen Hoover because of the fact that she talks so openly about these issues. And I guess the way that she writes it kind of suggests that it's normal. She's like normalizing this. But what I think she's trying to say is that this is what happened to her, but put in a fictional book, because a lot of the other subjects I'm pretty sure isn't about her. I think the main thing is about the start of the story is about her, like her life. Now, I think it's a good book. Like, I'm not saying it's the absolute greatest book I've ever read, and I haven't read that many books now thinking about it, but as a romance novel, I think it's a really good book. I actually do. I think it's an evocative piece. When you read it, towards the end, I was like captured. I wanted to know what happened next, and that is the main point for a book. I don't know what else you're supposed to get in a book other than enjoyment and like intrigue. You're supposed to be intrigued by the book. So, like, obviously, as a lot of books go, there are some books that everyone likes that I don't like, and obviously that's okay. Everyone gets their own opinion about a book, but I think a lot of the people that avoid this book is because of the negativity. I feel like I'm pretty sure a lot of people love this book. I think because it says TikTok sensations, because a lot of people like this. I don't know if I'm on the wrong side of book talk, but the reviews I get of this, they're all like, this is a bad book, don't read it. And I'm just like, read it. I don't actually listen to anyone's reviews. I listen to them and I look at them, I'm like, okay, but I read the book and get my own opinion out of it. I know when I don't like a book and I read it and I'm just bored out of my mind, and that's when I know I don't like a book. I don't go and see a movie. I don't listen to other people and let that decide whether I read the book or not, or see the movie or watch the show. I do it for myself. Like, I see it myself. So one message I would have for all book lovers out there, I guess it's a bit different because you'd have to go through all the effort of buying the book, and if you don't think you'd like it, then don't buy it. But what I mean is, I buy a book without knowing little about it, only like the main premises of it, and I know a lot of things people said about it, but I read it myself, and I feel like that's a more positive way to think about book reading, especially if you like borrow books from libraries, or like don't buy the book yourself, or like if you buy it on the Kindle. Then I just think that doesn't really matter. I think you should never judge a book not by its cover. You should never really judge a book by its cover, but sometimes nice covers are a good bonus. But never judge a book because of what someone else said, because at this point in life, we all know that everyone gets their own opinion. So don't let someone else's opinion dictate this. But I must say, if I was to say one thing about this book, is that it all happened, like the pacing is a bit iffy, but I was fine with it. But I can understand why people might not like the pacing, because it goes very slow and then it goes quite fast and then it goes slow again. And it's a bit over the place in my opinion, but I think the writing itself is really good. I felt really attached to this, and so I think that the review I gave it, let's see the review I gave it, because I use this app called Bookly, and I'm not sponsored at all, really not sponsored, I don't know why I said that, but yeah, it gives you like reading sessions, and it lets you keep track of all your books, and there is a pro version of this, like most things. There was always a pro version of it, but I don't have the pro version. It's free to buy, and I reviewed 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo on this. Let's see, finished, see. I gave It Ends With Us a 3.5, like 3.5 stars out of 5, because unlike 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I gave 4.5 out of 5, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was a really surprising book. It was really, really good, and I loved it, and I laughed and I cried, and I felt all the emotions and I really liked it. This book, I felt that as well. I felt that there were loads of plot twists, but also some points in it. Like, if you like a book that swept you off your feet, some of the stuff is predictable, I'd say. I just don't know. I just think that what I'm trying to say here is that maybe it wasn't the best book, and maybe I can understand why people don't like this book, but overall I didn't get the negativity. Like, I read it and I was like, this is a good book. I don't understand why people were saying it was so bad, but then I realised that it's their opinion, and I've said this many times in this video. It's their opinion. It's their opinion. So all I'd say is that be wary when reading this book, because if you get triggered by sensitive subjects, and this book is not for you. This book talks openly about several issues, and though Colleen Hoover does actually provide resources and stuff at the end, acknowledgements and stuff like that, you just have to be careful when reading a book, and I'd say research it before reading it. But overall, I think it deserved the hype that it got, and I think that Colleen Hoover isn't a bad writer. And I saw these people just not liking Colleen Hoover because apparently she romanticised abusive relationships. Now, I'm reading this like it's a book, and it's fiction, and it is based on her childhood, I think, like some aspects of it. But overall, I think that you'd have to be quite dumb. I'm not saying that anyone is dumb, but you would have to think that this is romanticising abusive relationships, because if you've read it and you know, in the end, everything works out, like a lot of fiction books do. Maybe that's predictable. Maybe people don't like it when it's predictable. But like, I just don't know why people were hating on Colleen Hoover. Maybe she did something really bad I didn't see about, but I'm just basing the liking of the book on the book, and I'm trying not to let the fact that it came from a controversial author affect my experience of the book. I have read 2 other Colleen Hoover books, Ugly Love and November 9th, and they were amazing, even though they were slightly, you know, especially November 9, quite disturbing, quite like not very happy, and there was happy until it wasn't. And Ugly Love was my first ever Colleen Hoover book. My second. I read November 9th. No, did I? I forgot. No, I read November 9th after Ugly Love. What I'm saying is that it was a good book. And Colleen Hoover books that I've read in the past, they have been good books. This book, It Starts With Us, I'm reading right now, it is a good book. And actually I think I will prefer It Starts With Us, but this is coming from a point where I'm like 30% through the book. I think I'll like it more than It Ends With Us, because I think it's happier. That makes it. You'll understand it if you read, but overall I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. I think it deserved that rating, and I think that that's a pretty good book rating in terms of like what it got. I don't know what it got like on like book companies and what critics actually thought of it. I've only heard a small percentage of what people think, but now I think it would be a good time to look at it and read what people think of it, because I think that'd be good thing to know. So yeah, I just think that some people don't feel like they gave a fair review. And we'll see the majority of like books reviews. So overall it got 4.7 out of 5. So actually on Google this got a really good review. This is over like we've got a 5 out of 5 Waterstones, 4.6 in Amazon, and 3.5. Okay, this is audience reviews. These are just right. I will credit the person if you're watching. I don't know where you would be, but maybe this made your way onto your YouTube. I don't know. Hannah Fade says, I devoured this book in literally no exaggeration 6 hours. I spent 6 straight hours just eating up the content of this book. And I think it's safe to say those 6 hours changed my life. She gave it a 5 out of 5, by the way. This book was an extremely fast-paced read for me since I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. This book tackled the subjects of domestic abuse and gaslighting so well, especially how hard to face those kind of challenges. I highly appreciate and admire that Colleen Hoover had the courage to get up and write this novel, despite it being very personal to her and was probably extremely emotional to write. I don't only admire her for it, I'm so glad that she did it. This novel helps raise awareness of exactly how people going through or have gone through this kind of trauma really feel. The book really captures how hard it is to escape those kind of situations, and not only that, but how to identify whenever you're in one. Colleen Hoover builds up the story. Oh, I pressed less. Build up the story so that we feel the emotion of the protagonist, Lily Bloom, feels. Every emotion that. Okay, there's a spoiler alert coming up, so if you don't want to read any spoilers about this book, I'd say I'll give you a sec. Just pause it, and I'll give you a sec. Why do I keep going out of it? Okay. Spoiler, she structures the story specifically to get us attached to a certain character and then breaks our heart right after. Like Lily, we keep feeling the need to forgive Ryle for his actions because we simply just love him. And I'm glad Colleen made the choice to have Ryle and Lily separate because it was the right thing to do, even if it's hard for us and for them. Okay, end of spoiler, guys. You can come back on now. Hi again. This book is a perfect mix of dark, funny, romantic. It broke me in all the worst ways, and yes, it did hurt. But I'm so glad I read it because I have learned so many new things. For the book structurally, impeccable. It transitions between events in the past and present really smoothly and brings the story along nicely. The dynamics between characters were really enjoyable as well. I absolutely adored Eliza. I think it's Eliza, or maybe it's Alyssa, I don't know. And Lily's friendship. And Marshall was also a really great addition to the sort of friendship group thing they had going on. I also love how Colleen Hoover vaguely hints about random details we don't think much of as readers, but then its specific details turn out to link to the huge turning point in the plot. Like, whoa. Hoover really is a fantastic storyteller like that. Her use of motifs is just so page-turning. It's like everything in the novel is done so deliberately. Everything is mentioned for a reason. Something mentioned on page 12 can be a huge reveal on page 220, and you would never have guessed it. Another thing that was so entertaining was the frequency of plot twists and turns and big reveals. It didn't feel like the character just existed to fall in love with each other, like in most romances. The plot felt very character-driven, and the characters didn't feel two-dimensional or flat. It really focused on each of the characters' flaws and personality traits. Ends With Us was literally raved about everywhere, and I can definitely see why. This book just lives rent-free in my head, and I think it always will. As someone who couldn't relate to Lily's trauma whatsoever, I still feel like it was an impactful read. It really sort of opened my eyes to the reality of abuse and how it should be portrayed within books and movies and whatever. Hoover is such a gifted writer, and I am so excited for the highly anticipated sequel, It Starts With Us. I don't know when this was. This was like 8 months ago, so before It Starts With Us came out. I think this review sums up really nicely. I think that's my review, but I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I just don't think that as good as this book was, I don't think it's better than Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I'm not really saying you can compare the two, because you can really, but like I can't really. But I just think that it was a good book. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Actually, I would give it like I might change my. I was being a bit like, I was trying to be a bit fair. Like I was trying to not give it like an amazing review, But now thinking of it, I did really enjoy it, and it did live rent-free, like she said, in my mind while reading it. So that's good. I want to see if I can find a review that is negative or not good. But it seems like a lot of these are 5-star. Okay. That was a 4-star. I think there's a way I can find... Well, 4 stars aren't bad though. 4 stars are good. They're just not 5 stars. Filtered by 1-star reviews. Okay. I have... Okay, this is a 1-star review from someone called Labine Wendite. I don't know how to say that name, and I'm very sorry if I offended anyone, but I just don't know how to say that name. It was 1 star, and it was 7 months ago, so there are quite a few 1-star reviews. I think I might read one more after this because it doesn't seem too long if I can read it quick enough. The beginning was good, and even the letters addressed to Ellen. The story between Lily and Atlas felt very genuine and sweet. So this is before, I think, like when we know, I think this is a spoiler. I like how it was taken very slowly and steadily for them to fall in love. It really did feel genuine. Talking about Ryle, I feel he is also a great character. The story somehow puts him in such a way that he became a bad character. I feel it's hard for a person who has just been through something before to actually adjust. Even though he did hurt Lily in the kitchen, which was really wrong, but he felt he tried his best later. This is a spoiler. I'm so sorry if I spoiled the book for you. Maybe you won't know. I liked how the author mentioned about abuse and trauma. It felt genuine. The part when Lily realised that Ryle and her father are 2 different people, even though they hurt their parents, was right. It hurt their partners, was right to put in that way. It was a huge disappointment for me when Lily couldn't even let go of Atlas through the magnet and letters despite knowing it will hurt Ryle. I really felt that Lily was not even sure of her feelings for Ryle, because if she did, she would have made him feel safe in the first place. So this person obviously doesn't think right. I personally disagree with this. Actually, I think that just because she keeps something from her childhood and it's sentimental doesn't mean that like she should have hidden it or done anything, because she can keep it how she wants to keep it. So I don't know. I just disagree with that, I think. I do understand that she has traumas of her own which are hard to come out therefore she felt triggered, but even Ryle had his past and things that were hard to deal with, and the fact that he came to her to tell her about his past and he needed therapy should make her... Yeah, but this was after he abused her. I think this person is picking up the wrong message. Obviously everyone's allowed their own opinion. I just strongly disagree with this one. I think this person likes Ryle. I think this person is defending Ryle, and actually what the other person said about people like not wanting to hate Ryle, I actually personally, when reading about Ryle, I just didn't like him from the start. I was happy that Lily was happy, but as soon as the first time that he did it, and we're not going to specify, but the first time, this is a spoiler though, the first time that he did it, whatever he did, you'll get to know about it, I was just like, this guy is going to do it again, isn't he? And this is going to really hurt her. So I was not on his side. I thought he was a funny character, and I really liked him when he was nice, but I just thought I didn't really like him much. I was kind of rooting for Lily to get out of the situation, but I think the way that Colleen Hoover writes Lily is really good, because I felt really like attached to Lily. Sorry, I did it. Tell her about the past and how he needed therapy. Understand not to bring anything of Atlas's anymore, since herself agreed to help Ryle heal. But Ryle's issues isn't Lily's issues. So, Ryle deserves to know how she felt for Atlas and for him. Yes, I agree that it was not right for him to hit her when she knew what was about. But neither was she supposed to keep anything of her past anymore. Both were at fault, but this time she didn't know. I think in this situation, this is someone being very jealous of someone else. But she chose him, and hitting, they weren't at, like, I'm sorry, but Lily wasn't at fault at all, because she shouldn't have to. Like maybe she felt Atlas, but it was a very personal time in her life, and if Ryle actually understood that, then maybe. But like, he's got his own issues, okay? So all I'm saying is that I do not defend Ryle. I don't think Ryle deserved to do that to her. And keep doing it. The fact that he himself came to talk about his past, how he couldn't control his anger, felt genuine enough. But yeah, but that was after the incident. That was after it happened. He did that afterwards. He used it as an excuse. Maybe it couldn't be an excuse. Lily even memorized Atlas. Yeah, because she was in a dangerous. I don't think this person understood the point of the book, but we can see why they gave it a 1 star in a minute. I just, coming from someone who actually enjoyed it and like I think all this person is saying, I'm completely thinking the opposite of. Lily even memorized Alice's phone number, which made me lose my interest to continue reading it further, because if she loved Ryle, she wouldn't even remember the number. I was really disappointed when she delivered the baby and didn't dare to think about how patient he was with every decision she made with him. Oh, I just made you spoiler alert. I'm so sorry, guys. I should have just put like I think I'll put a spoiler warning, or I'll put like a note at the start of this video. Now thinking about it, you'll hear past me, but actually future me, talking at the start of this video. So it'll kind of be like past me, but like it's future me, because I haven't recorded that yet. Yeah. And she said he needed time to trust him, and he agreed. And in her terms, on a different scenario, he said one monumental, life-changing thing at a time. However, she chose to part ways. He never deserved the divorce. Okay, right, he did, because all he would do is just keep on hurting Lily. All he would do is continue doing it and getting angry at the smallest little things and hurting her, and that's never okay. And I'm not saying that everyone deserves a checking sign, no matter how bad they have treated others. Laura was an exception because he had his past and he was willing to change. That's why he was patient with her decisions and even asked her about what to do with both of them. Although Lily was traumatized already, I feel there should have been more depth to their stories together. I disagree. The ending was a drag for me. It was sad and chaotic. The conclusion is both of them came from different pasts and triggers. She should understand him and vice versa and try not to trigger so much. If she was really honest, I feel they've both gone further much better. The relationship needed to go past much of... No. I wouldn't recommend this book, honestly. Not everyone will hate it, but definitely it just keeps getting chaotic and disturbing. I just completely disagree with that review, because I think this person is thinking of it like this abuse. Like actually the way that Lily was trying to excuse it, I think this person was reading the excuse and agreeing. I think that this is wrong. I don't think the book's chaotic. I mean, I think the book is chaotic, but I feel like the fact that it's chaotic is intriguing if you get into the story. I just think after the point that she said that this person said that they stopped being interesting in reading, I think that's what I think they got the wrong point. I think they read the book in their way, which is completely fine, but like they read it like Ryle was like doing this as an accident. But once you're in a domestic abuse situation, it's never about giving someone a second chance, because this person hasn't changed and they probably never will change, because it's not, and he has his traumas, but like I don't think Lily was to blame at all, and that's just my opinion. Anyway, I'm not going to read this, but okay, this person was like, Ryle told us from the beginning who he was. Spoilers. I know you'll know about it earlier, guys, but spoilers. When we meet Ryle, he's literally attacking a chair. Red flag number 1. 5 minutes into meeting this girl, he calls himself selfish and only cares about his career, and he never wanted to be in a relationship, much less have children. At least he's being honest. Still, red flag number 2. But that's what they all say though. Like everyone says, I'm not interested in a relationship. But you. Number 2, they go their separate ways, which is good for Lily, who still thinks about them. They meet again and it's straight out romantic comedy, so already this book is setting up everything for a romance between Lily and Ryle. Based on everything that she said to her in the beginning, we know he's a narcissist. Why would Lily fall for that? Lily is portrayed as a smart and go-getter, yet she quits her cooperative marketing job, how cliche by the way, to open a flower shop in the middle of Boston. Where is she growing these flowers? I think that's going a bit far though. It's flowers, mate. Perhaps we'll never know. Somehow our two overly sexualized main characters get in a relationship because Lily is playing hard to get and being more attractive than the average girl. It's obviously that what all men want, even if she gives up everything and believes in just what you. And then another character is introduced, Lily's first love, the naked truth she told Rao. And of course, this tall, dark, handsome, brooding, all I want is success man becomes jealous that Lily's first love is in her life yet again, even though he's not really in her life again. The book takes on some dark themes and it does not execute well. I read the epilogue in which Hoover says that the book is based on real situations her mother has dealt with. The epilogue was mostly a moving thing about the book. Well, that's good to know, isn't it? She managed to take a very real traumatic experience by someone who... No. Okay, I'm stopping with you. They said the word romanticized. It was never romanticized. It started off like a normal love story. The characters were introduced as two separate people and they both had their traumas, but we didn't know about Ra's traumas until later on. But we knew about Lily's traumas and we knew that she had just met this guy and he was obviously angry. People throw chairs when they're angry. I don't know why people think this book's been romanticized, because it definitely hasn't. There's a major theme. Literally, this is not romanticizing. Spoiler alert again, guys, though. I'm sorry, Jenny. It was an accident. I'm so sorry. This is in, like, italics. I'm so sorry, Lily. It was an accident. I'm so sorry. Right? That doesn't romanticize a relationship. And it romanticizes at the beginning before it happens. But after it happens, it's a genuine story about how a person in real life would go about defending the one they love just because they love them. I think that these two very different things is what I felt on Book Talk. One person was saying this, one person was saying that. They were coming at each other, and a lot of people, I feel, that read this book would disagree with the 1-star review, because it's a book. It is a very real book. It seems like it's real, and I'm sad that it is, but it seems real. The story is genuine. The fact that Colleen Hoover actually had the strength to write this book is daring, and it's a good book. I just don't think people understand the point. I think people are reading into this as if the relationship between Lily and Rao is the thing that Colleen Hoover is basing it off of. And let's be honest, right? This started off like two separate people coming together. It's not, they don't live for each other. They live and they meet each other, and it's kind of chaotic, but it's fun. They fall in love and then something happens. I think overall, it romanticizes love. But when love gets difficult, it shows the reality that people can't just easily up and leave the other person just because they hurt them. And I think that's a very important subject, and I think that this video is getting very long, but I think that this book deserves my review. And I think maybe, now thinking about it, I should change it to 4 out of 5, because I think it is that good. I wouldn't say it's a 5 out of 5 because, yeah, I don't give books 5 out of 5. Like, people don't really give movies 5 out of 5. I think it's a very, very good book, and I think I was absolutely captivated by it. So yeah, that's what I'm saying about this book. I'm gonna see if I can change this right now. Also, guys, I do not sponsor anyone because I'm not like that kind of person, but I think that you guys should I don't think it lets me change it. That's so sad. I definitely think that you should buy this book. Does it let you change it? I think you should get... I don't know why it's not letting me. By the way, guys, it took me 6 hours, 18 minutes and 36 seconds to read this book, but I read it over a number of days instead of reading it. So actually it didn't take that long. It felt long, but I didn't actually read it all. Like, this person said they devoured it in like 6 hours. I did, but not in actual, like, straight up. I read it across a number of times. And I don't know if people like to do that, but I certainly don't objectify doing that. I'm so sad I can't change the rating. I really wish I could. If anyone knows how to. But anyway, that is it. My honest, that's what I meant to say. All of the, I might do a series where I start called Honest Reviews. And that is where I like review a book that I've read recently. And you can know it's an honest review. Like, no one's like the Colleen Hoover or like the publishers of the book are not like forcing me to love this book or review it, but this is an honest review on how I feel. I feel that we should recap before I end this video. Number 1, this book has a lot of trigger warnings in it, and I feel like if you don't like reading about sensitive topics, this one is not for you. Number 2, it is a romance novel, and so some of it is funny, and it is like romantic and funny and dark at sometimes. And I think that the writing style, structure and pace are all very good, and that makes the book interesting. I think the characters are very, very good, and the plot and the twists are all very, very good, and I felt connected to the characters, and I felt the emotions of all the characters, and I think that that is what makes this book good. Number 3, many people hate on Colleen Hoover for her writing style and her honesty, and I think that's not the way to approach this book, right? This book could be bad, you could not like it, and that's fine, because everyone, as I've said like 5 million times in this video, has an opinion and are entitled to their own opinion. My opinion is that it's a great book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, even though earlier I was saying 3.5, but I've moved it up since talking about it. I just think that this book is a very genuine and probably very heart-wrenching story, and so it shouldn't be judged by the fact that it openly discusses this, and I think that the people are saying it's romanticizing abusive relationships, but they obviously haven't read it, or they just assume it's romanticizing abusive relationship because it talks about loving this person even though they're in an abusive relationship. And I think that's very real, and I think that's very honest, and I think that is the way, that is a way that it should be represented, because it is laying out the facts for you cold. It is literally saying, I'm in love with this person, but they hurt me, but I still love them, and I can't forgive them, but I can't stop loving them. I think that the fact that it's kind of like a love triangle, but it's not really, because we know in the end, I think the backstories of the characters and the fact that the story itself is all very character driven is good, and I love the way that they've written the characters, and I think Colleen Hoover is a good author. Having read 3 of her books now, and on the 4th book, and I'm going to read all of her books, I think that this book is a good book, and it deserves all of the hype that it gets, because I think it is one of those books that has you on the edge of your seat at some points. At some points it's a kind of laid back chill read, but I actually think this book deserves the love and hype. I just think that I can understand why people dislike it, but a lot of the people, like, I can understand why, because it's sensitive and there are a lot of things talking about, but overall I don't think it romanticizes anything, and I think you shouldn't buy it because I tell you to. Like, I recommend this book, but I'm not telling you to buy it or read it, or like, don't walk, don't run. I'd say, right, if you ever get the opportunity to read this book, then yes, and if you want to read this book after my honest review, I would say that's great, but don't read the book, or don't read the book, or don't avoid the book just because someone one or few people tell you it's bad. I just think that I just don't really base people's opinions on things, my opinion on things, on other people's opinions. So I read it, and I'd watch the movie, and I'd watch the television show, and I'd read the magazine. and I'd take into consideration what the person has said, try to understand what the person's coming from. But in this case, I do not understand why people say that it's romanticised, because in my opinion, it's quite clearly not romanticising anything apart from love. So that is my very honest review of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This was like a 45, no actually even more than that, video, and I very hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you like this kind of thing, and I'll be doing more in the future because I'm reading a lot of books now. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the intro. But this is the book, It's End With Us, Colleen Hoover. I don't know where my friend got it from, but I've seen it. If you're from the UK, The Works is a great place to get books. I get books from there all the time. They're literally under £10, and a lot of them in like other bookshops like Waterstones, even though I do love Waterstones because they have all these special editions and special books. But The Works is a great place to get books. Like literally £7, £5, £3 for some books. I think it's honestly great. Colleen Hoover, I should say, is one of my favourite authors now, I think, reading it. So is Taylor Jenkins reading Casey McQuiston. I find that American writers are great. I like any type of writer, but like those are the ones I'm getting the most positivity from. I'd say that also Amazon is a great place to get books. All I'd say is that if you care about books being in perfect condition, that Amazon is great, and I buy from Amazon a lot. Sometimes the books come in a bit of a weird state, and I don't like that, but we can accept a bit of it if we're just interested in the book. I don't know how you live with your books. But anyway, I think at the start of my channel, I did do a book haul. Did I? I don't know if I did, but I think I did a book haul. I think I might do an updated book haul because I've got a lot of books now. So I think it'd be great to do that. So let me know if you want that. Without further ado though, I hope you enjoy this day. And if you're watching this on Valentine's Day, I hope you're spending your day doing whatever. If you're just having a normal day, if you're celebrating Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day, I just wanted to shout out Miles Handmade, small business that does loads of affordable and cute jewellery. I ordered some stuff, 9 pairs of earrings from her, and a few of them are from the Valentine's section. These are little hearts in sweet wrappers, and I think that's very, very cute, and I love it so much. So definitely go check out mileshandmade.com to get yourself some affordable jewellery. But without further ado, this is the book. I told you all the places you can get it from, and you can probably get it from Barnes & Nobles in the US. I don't know, I haven't been there in a while, but I do love Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Nobles has my heart. I won't go there again. But right now, It Ends With Us is the book, and this has been the honest review. Bye. Well, hi guys, this is the outro for my video. We have now reviewed It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. The setup is different, I know, and I wish I had this for the actual video, but I didn't, and that's unfortunate, but I'm not going to record the whole thing again. Yes, so we reviewed It Ends With Us. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I think it is a very good book, and if you get the chance to read it, then you can. But I just think don't judge when you want to read the book on my review or anyone else's review. I think that you should read it for yourself and see it for yourself, because that's what I like to do for myself. That's just self and yourself and myself a lot there, so I'm very sorry. Yes, make sure that you like, comment and subscribe, and hit that post notification bell so you never miss another wacky video of mine. I do like to be a bit wacky on this channel, and yes, that is going to be a new word added to the vocabulary. Shout out to Gabby, just saying. So yes, this was my honest review. Please do let me know if you like the idea, and let me know what books you want to see next. I have read quite a few books, but you can give me book recommendations down below and I can read them and then do another honest review. I just like to say thank you so much for all your support. I'm not necessarily a successful YouTube channel, and I'm in no way regular, but I'd like to be more regular starting now. Also check out my website, which will be linked down below. It'll have all the links to my small business and my podcast, which I haven't updated, but I think I will be doing this week. yeah, just all my socials are going to be linked down below, and you can have a look at my website. It gives you details on my small business. I currently have a launch going on this week, so new stuff like stickers, earrings, handmade earrings, key rings and bookmarks are coming to my store, as well as 2 mystery items. So if you're interested, please check out my website, and it will have my Instagram and my Etsy linked below. I hope you enjoyed this video, even despite all the sensitive topics, and if you have read It Ends With Us and have a different opinion, feel free to let me know. If you agree with me, then that's great, and you can let me know that too. But anyway, I hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing week, and life if I never see you again. Not that I can see you, but like if I don't hear from you again. So yes, that has been number one of my honest reviews. So yes, have a lovely day everyone. But from now, it's Adventures of Arlo signing out. Peace!